Am I wrong for snapping at my nephew because he ate my daughter's food? My daughter, 6 female, is a very picky eater, not in the sense that she will pat and whine if she doesn't like what's on her plate, but more like she actually throws up and have something resembling a mini panic attack. Because of that, whenever we have our weekly dinners with my husband's side of the family, my mother-in-law will make a separate dish for my daughter that she knows she will like. My daughter hates most spices, so most of the time no one else likes her food, so there's no need to make it a dish for everyone. 2 days ago, we had our dinner and we were running a little late because it has been a bad day for my daughter and we were both irritated at that point. When we got there, I saw my nephew, 15, eating my daughter's food. I knew it was hers since she was having a completely different dish than everyone else. And my mother-in-law told me it was and sent me a picture to show my daughter since it was a new recipe she was trying. My daughter also saw it and started bawling. It was a very hard day for her and I guess this was what finally broke her. Everyone came running into the kitchen to see what was happening, and when my sister-in-law saw what her son was doing, she immediately scolded him, but the damage was done. I gave my daughter to my husband and asked to wait for me in the car. Once they left, I snapped at my nephew that just because his parents never taught him to shut his mouth for a little while doesn't mean he can just eat whatever he wants. He knew it was my daughter's food, he knew how she is about food, and he still chose to eat it. I gave my sister a hard look and left. Everyone had been bombing the family group chat fighting over who is on the wrong. I don't think OP is wrong, but she could have just kept the "your parents didn't teach you" comment, because that was a little too far, considering the sister-in-law did tell her son not to do that at all. And she said in the edit that she told her son not to do that, and this was like the first time the son did it. So, I mean, he's 15, you tell them not to do once, like, maybe if he was like doing it over and over, that probably would have warranted such comment, but she didn't need to say all that at all. Someone did not agree with OP at all. They said, "Yeah, you are the a-hole. If your daughter is so picky, why aren't you preparing the meal for her and bringing it yourself? It's hard to judge the intentions of your nephew since it was a new recipe being made that day, and you can't expect everyone to be so in tune with your daughter's habits." Am I wrong for saying to my parents that I won't give up my career and look after my brother once they're gone? Last week, my parents phoned me asking me to come down the Friday just gone as they want to talk to me about something important, and they'd prefer to do it face-to-face. I agreed and came down Friday and we talked. My parents said that they've been delaying doing their wills for so long and decided it's finally time to get their affairs in order. I have a brother who's older than me, but he's autistic, and I don't know if nonverbal is the right word as he can only say a few words like mom and dad, and although he's 26, it's more like he's a 10-year-old, if that makes sense. My parents told me that they've got some sort of plan to go into the will, and they've said their plan is if one of them were to die first, then my brother will live with the lone parent part-time in a care home assisted facility. Time to give the lone parent a break. Then if the lone parent dies, the plan is for my brother to come and live with me, and they will set some sort of trust up so that each month whatever he inherits goes into living costs. For example, if he inherited at the 100,000, not the actual amount, a trust would have been set up and 1,000 comes out each month to cover his living costs. Why I said my brother has the mind of a 10-year-old is because he can't do anything without the help of our parents, like getting him dressed and cleaned and ready and helping him with tasks and activities. My family members take it turns at the weekend to have him so my parents can have a break to relax and recuperate. I know it's wrong of me and I shouldn't be, but I'm not an emotional person and I'm not sympathetic as well. I said to my parents that I'm not giving up my career to look after him, and when they both die, I won't be taking me in. My brother and sibling relationship is non-existent, and I also don't feel equipped to look after him, and I am an honest person and will say that to me, I feel like a massive burden. I voiced my reasons to my parents and I thought they would be more understanding. I basically feel like he's better off in a place where people can actually help him and know what they're doing. I'm just not prepared to give up my career or anything for him. I also stated to my parents that I'm more than happy to give up my half of the inheritance so the money can go on making sure he's looked after, like setting up a trust fund. So if they died, he went into assisted living facility, his bills are paid, and there's an allowance for him each month. My parents are completely upset with me and are disappointed in me for this. I feel justified, but now I'm wondering if I've been a total B and an a-hole when it comes to this. Honestly, if someone says I cannot do this, and this is going to be a huge burden and too much work for me, and I am not like emotionally, mentally, or even physically and financially equipped to do such and such, I think that they should be left alone. Because imagine she takes her brother in, and because she doesn't want to do any of this, and she literally seems like he's going to be a burden to her, she mistreats him, she takes her frustration out on him, and now he's going to be a victim and she's going to be the monster. So it's better she gives up her money and he goes to a facility, and then like when she goes to the facility, OP can look after her brother, like, you know, like she can go in, make sure things are going well, make sure he's not being mistreated by the people that are taking care of him. Like, I think that's more of a good idea than her taking him in when she knows she's not emotionally and mentally equipped to take care of a person who has so much needs and who is in such a vulnerable position to begin with already, you know? A commenter said, not the a-hole, your parents have plenty of time to research facilities and programs for your brother's long-term care. They also have time to set up a trust with trustee or guardian to make sure no one is abusing the trust and misusing the money designated for your brother's care. You may want to consider being one of the trustees. It's unfair to expect you to pick up the pieces, especially since your brother could be transitioning now when your parents are well and able to oversee his care. Another commenter said, not the a-hole, your brother is not your child and you should feel free to live your life. And it's strange that they're willing to put him in an assisted care facility when one of them is still alive, but then send him to you when they're both gone. It's mature of you to offer to give up your half of the inheritance so he will be taken care of. That sounds like a good plan. Offer to put it in writing that you won't contest the will. Maybe that will set their mind at ease. Am I wrong for refusing to delete a video taken in public? This weekend, my girlfriend and I were walking at the local reservoir when down by the water we see a lady going past the hundreds of ducks following her. I am not exaggerating at all. I'd say there were at least 200, 300 birds, if not more, quacking and splashing and climbing all over each other trying to get closer to the food she was tossing. It was a hell of a scene, so I started recording it because frankly, I've never seen anything quite like it before. I'd say the path where we were was about 30 or 40 feet back from the water, so it was from a pretty respectable distance, not getting up in her face or anything. For a good minute or two, I'm just filming all these ducks going crazy. Well, the lady looks up and sees me and says, "Are you recording?" I tell her, "Yeah, I'm recording. There are like 300 ducks back there." So she yells, "I don't want to be in the picture. Delete that video. I didn't give you permission." I tell her, "No, I'm not deleting it. We're out in public. I don't need permission to take pictures of things. I'm not even taking a video of you. You just happen to be in it walking past." She says, "Well, then how about if I take a picture of you?" and pulls out her phone. I tell her, "I don't care. Go ahead. What are you going to do? Frame it?" So she's just standing there taking pictures of us until finally we walk away pissed off. So am I the a-hole? I guess this lady thought I was being rude, but I didn't see anything wrong with what I was doing, especially since it wasn't even her I was really taking the video of. A commenter said, "You are the a-hole. It may be illegal, but if someone doesn't want to be recorded, you should respect that." Another commenter said, "You are the a-hole. She didn't want to be in your video. She didn't want someone recording her. Sure, it's legal. It doesn't change anything about the fact that it's still a-hole behavior to go ahead despite someone saying they don't want you recording them. It's so weird to see so many people arguing the legality of it like that makes it fine. Plenty of things are legal to do, but still a-hole behavior. It's so even weird how things are now with videoing people in public. It becomes so normalized." And I actually do agree with that. Like, people are recording everybody and people are putting, like, I remember one time I seen a young black woman standing at a stop sign and someone recorded her because I guess they didn't like the way her body was shaped and the way people were tearing this poor girl up. It was so disgusting. Imagine had that been me, I probably just went off myself because the way random people on Twitter, I think got like millions of views. People were retweeting, commenting, laughing, giggling, body shaming her, disrespecting her, degrading her, like basically dehumanizing her, all because somebody took a video of a random person on the street and took them to the internet. Just because something is legal doesn't mean it's necessarily morally right. Like, what is wrong with people? And I agree with this comment because if OP was recorded, like, I would have probably done that. Like, if I seen some crazy, like, what he said, I probably would have did that and recorded it just to show it to my siblings or someone else. But if someone said, "Oh, I don't want this video of me, can you please delete it?" I would have been like, fine. Because you don't know what type of situations people are in. Like, maybe she's in the, what is it called? The witness program protection or whatever the hell you call it, and she doesn't want people finding her. I don't know, but OP is definitely wrong in my opinion.